you have some slow readers. I don't know. That's what I was wondering. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, right. Right. Going down there and checking it out.
Completed 1977.
You know how many were from Pittsburgh? 5. Unbelievable. You know?
4 years, 4 years.
Real travelers.
I don't know. I guess so. You don't distinguish.
Huh?
Awesome. There's where we learned it.
Go through those 2 rocks, see where they're going to go. Yeah, go through. Oh, I made it. Oh boy. Looks like they turned around and going backwards now.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have guides on it.
So we should have turned left, right? When we went up here?
We're on 19 now.
But, I mean, I'm
Going
going
into Fayetteville.
should we?
Okay, I got it. We're recording and we're zooming down. Yeah, going across the Newport. Is it the Newport River Bridge?
New River.
New River.
There's the sign.
I can't see any sign. I'm nervous. So watch me drop the stupid camera.
Don't forget the new. See the sign.
I can't see anything. All I can see is a railing. Is everybody enjoying this? I'll try and make myself talk. I bet you can't see anything. Do it. I can't. This is probably going to be so ridiculous. Does it? Second highest. This is the real. I'm afraid of dropping the stupid camera out the window sometimes. I'm seeing nothing but a hillside of trees. And it's probably not even straight. So I quit.
This is Mount Airy, North Carolina. The prototype for Mayberry and the Andy Griffith Show. Here's a snappy lunch.
South Carolina, Charleston.
And here's Floyd's barber shop.
I hope so. Yeah. This is Floyd's barber, Dad.
We allowed to go in.
Yeah.
Huh?
Sure. He's probably on his way. I asked him if I could buy a t-shirt today.
How do you do?
Fine, how you doing?
I think I'd buy
Well,
it.
this is really something.
Yeah.
Were you the person that Andy had in mind for Floyd?
Well, now that we don't know. Andy won't tell about most of those characters. But I don't think I was because there were 6 other barbers here when I came here, and they were all getting some age on them, you know. And I think he was one of the 2 older barbers.
Oh, you think so?
I'm the last active barber here.
That's just so exciting.
The rest of them, passed on, but I'm known as living barber that's here.
We're not holding you back from going to church, are you?
No.
Let me go get my money because I want to get one.
Hey, hon, grab the camera off the back floor. The still camera.
Oh, okay.
It's on the back floor. I want to take a picture of the inside.
I forgot it.
I'll get it. I'll get it when I'm done doing this. Go ahead.
I'll give you, do you change this, or if I give you a card?
Yeah, I can. What size is it?
Extra large.
Oh, they told me that's. Oh, this is another thing I've got.
The Boone Hall Plantation in Mount Pleasant, just a few miles outside of Charleston. We're about ready to go under the tour. Right outside the gate. This is the half-mile drive up lined with oak trees. And there off in the distance are small cabins we believe to be with the slave cabins. There's some more of the mansion. TV show North and South was filmed here.
Slave Street. And
Slave
this is-
Street, this is.
Yeah, and this was reserved for the house servants. The field servants lived elsewhere.
Not too big. Say 12 by 24 maybe.
Hello, horsey.
He come over to say hello. Oh, isn't he pretty? Boone's grave. This is one of the bigger trees lining the driveway, this oak. I can't imagine how tall it is.
This drive dates back to 1743.
1743, this drive, these trees. This is the 3/4 mile drive right up to the plantation, all these oaks. Figure there's got to be maybe between 80 and 100 oaks. This is at the very end of the walk. There's where the horses are. I think there's some horses up in there. There's a couple. Very beautiful. Moss draped live oaks. for 1743. Yeah, here's a good shot of the moss. Here's some Spanish moss at the ground.
Note, we did not take this off the tree, it was on the ground.
Rock house down by a small lake.
There you go, you're such a good little girl. See some of the ones that come through. You can't even talk about them. Bye. You have fun. Center is the top of a Corinthian column that was placed there by a Russian prince that owned Boone Hall for just a short while. The walls around the patio of the Serpentine, those are like the ones that Thomas Jefferson chose at Monticello. The Serpentine wall is supposed to be much stronger than just a straight wall. Now the oldest tree on the plantation is over to the right of the bench underneath it. This is over 600 years old. It's called a live oak. They call them that because they never lose their leaves.
He's wanting to hide from me. Do you see where he is?
I caught him. Yeah, I am. I did.
You're going to know if he takes off. Hello. Hello. Are you going to fly? Hello.
This tree here is what we call being bent out of shape. Patriots Point, the aircraft carrier. Yorktown. Couple jets up there. This is Magnolia Plantation. This is their coffee store. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hey, check out these piggies.
That one's kind of hobbling along.
Yeah.
He's walking like grandma. Really? Oh, he must have a sore foot or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, isn't that nice, huh?
It is. Some wedding present, huh?
Yeah.
It's from that tree. I didn't even know they brought like fruit on it. I would stop.
Don't you think these are magnolia trees? Look at the leaves.
Oh, I don't see any flowers. Do you know what kind of tree this is? Sorry, not.
Right on this vine. Here's a vine going up a tree. This vine's about what, hon? 6 inches thick?
At least.
Going up. There's a corkscrew turn right there. I mean, this vine's all over the place. It's wrapped around like a rope right there. Over here in the ground.
That's wild.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Oh, yeah. This is a photograph that was taken on this spot 150 years ago. And who is it of?
Reverend Drayton and one of his daughters.
It was taken right on this spot, so had to have been right about here. There's the slope, and here's a large tree. That could have been part of the picture.
See it?
No.
See it?
Right.
It just moved.
Huh?
It's beyond the turtle. See, it's right by the bush. It's just started to move a little. See it moving?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Wow.
Isn't that something, that big turtle? Sunning himself on the log.
I guess this is the Audubon Swamp.
It's beautiful. The roots of these trees are pretty sighters. See the knees sticking up?
They're lilies.
I want a lake in my yard.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's kind of cute if you get this size. Please don't feed me. It's some kind of a creeping fig is the plant that's covering all these animal shapes. But I guess it just started to cover them.
Yeah.
What's this one? He's complaining.
Brian had a little white one like that.
That's not unusual today, Bryce is getting there and it's laughing there.
We have an old man living down here, but it was a motorcycle club. And they all come in on Harley Davidson. And I wasn't listening, they all did. Okay, the mom said you're showing this classification that was used on this plantation here. Of course, this family also had a plantation. You folks come on in if you like. They did have property. The library table that you passed there was the closest library in town. It's dead part of it. It's 150 years old. Yeah, now that's good. No, you're 5 people up. No. And see, all the new houses they're building now, close to rivers, and they have to be built 12 feet above sea level. Yeah, right.
This is called the Storm. This is
Storm warnings and the storm. Storm warnings is on the top and the storm is on the bottom.
this is probably
Hugo.
yeah, Hurricane Hugo. This is probably East Bay or the Battery in Charleston, one of the two. Beautiful painting.
Now what?
Where are you?
I'm right where you said.
Oh, you got to go all the way up there and around.
Well, where are you?
Huh?
I mean, how did you get there?
Okay, go up, go straight up.
All right.
Go up straight up there.
Okay. I thought you said you went the wrong way. Now what?
I don't know. It was. So was mine.
Huh?
So was mine.
Well, come here this way.
I feel like I'm on, what's the name of that show? Cops.
Oh, that's a dead end too. Are you taking this?
Yeah, this is funny.
Are you really?
Yeah. This has to be something here. Yeah, there it is.
Probably another dead end.
Yes. I think these are all dead ends down here. Yeah. We just walked around in a big circle. Oh, maybe not.
Faster, faster. The statue's in the very center of this.
Yeah.
What happened to those people?
They're lost forever. Ah, ta-da!
Did we do it?
Yeah.
Yay.
I got it now. Come on, show off. Come on, you gotta show off.
Aren't they cute?
They're real horses too, they're not ponies.
Breeding? It took 100 years of breeding to make this small size horse.
Oh, you're cute.
Aren't they cute? Wouldn't Justin and Kelsey have fun riding on them?
Yeah.
Oh, they are so cute. That was so pretty.
The Audubon Swamp Garden. Maybe we'll see an alligator if we're lucky. What the heck is it?
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
place.
Waiting on dinner. Looks like a road runner. Look at the position he's in.
I don't know what he's doing.
Look how yucky this is. It's probably that, what do you call, quicksand. Can you get it if you zoom on it?
Yeah, I'm in as far as I can go. I don't know what they're called.
I don't know.
I lost it. Where the hell is it? Oh, I see it. I bet if you clap your hands, it'd fly. He's doing something. Look. Yeah. It's directly in front of me, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. For Pete's sake, I didn't expect it was... Yeah, I think so. I'll be darned. I would never have seen it. Yeah, I never would have seen it. Wow. Huh. I never would have seen it.
No.
It's kind of menacing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're seeing alligators in hurry. I'm glad we got to see one. Yeah. You never saw one before?
Well, that,
I'm gonna leave. I couldn't handle that. You saw him. No way, buddy. They can't be that stupid. They live side by side. It's true.
Why didn't you come out?
I can't even see him on here.
I just want to see him. So if I don't think he does it. Do you see the alligator there? Do you see where he is?
Right, you gotta look in here. But
An
you gotta
alligator
keep
out
him
there
right about in
somewhere.
but just look, try to find him.
We did the whole thing. We've been walking since early this morning. Their gardens are gorgeous.
Oh, really?
They are just gorgeous. But we took the house tour as well, and that wasn't,
Yeah, they
you know,
said that
great.
wasn't no good.
No.
I thought nothing was in bloom in the Magnolia Garden.
Well, the azaleas and that are all.
Zoom in on them. Look at them in a row.
Yeah. I lost them. Where the hell they gone?
Is that darling? Did you find him again?
Yeah, I got them. This is the circular church in downtown Charleston.
I want you to notice it is a modern office building. South Carolina Electric and Gas is offices for the very electric folks who live downtown.
This building here, the Mills House Hotel, was built in 1853.
Robert E. Lee's
Robert E. Lee stayed here.
and Teddy Roosevelt.
And Teddy Roosevelt. This is the side garden and the fountain.
The rooms are $110 a night and up.
110 and up. 5-star hotel. Homer Street, church in the background. This is Meeting Street. There's a courthouse being rebuilt. And this is an original cobblestone street. Corners of Law at Meeting and Broad Street. This is the post office on one corner. There's a lady making sweetgrass baskets. The street is the courthouse, Charleston County Courthouse, which is now being remodeled. Quite a bit of damage during Hurricane Hugo. Now we're across the street. This is the other corner. This is City Hall. And this is what, St. Michael's Church? St. Michael's Episcopal Church. This is the courtyard of St. Michael's. Right off the street. It's another lady making sweetgrass baskets. Across the street, there's another lady. Everywhere you go, they're making these things. They have to go to Florida for the sweetgrass. It's all depleted up there. Side garden, beautiful house. The porches up here. First Presbyterian Church on Trad Street. This is a nice narrow street with really pretty homes. One of these homes down here, we think it's this yellow one right here, is leaning. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. One of the houses we're going to tour today is the Nathaniel Russell House, 1808. Can't take pictures indoors though. Here's the backyard of a house on Water Street, right off of Meeting. Here's a little statue like we have. Little Kelsey statue. This is their little backyard. This is the end of Church Street at Water Street. Really quaint. These are the original moorings for the boats. The water used to come clear up to here. They'd tie the boats up there. This is on Water Street. This is a view down Church Street. Very narrow.
Very quaint.
This is a house on East Battery. This is that same house on East Battery. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. And a Jag sitting in the back there. East Bay Street. We're right on the water. Beautiful home. Oleander growing here. These are some of the biggest homes in town. Really gorgeous. Parker's house. Pink everywhere. Pink house in the back there. He's even got pink garbage cans. This guy's a dentist. There's his telescopes up there. He wears a pink sport coat all the time. And during Hurricane Hugo, him and some of his friends rode it out on this 3rd floor. Here's the horse-drawn tours. And here's the house we're going to buy. Probably $1.5 million, $2 million. Not too shabby either.
That had hurricane damage, though. It has a caution.
Oh, bad hurricane damage. We'll have to go. This is some of the damage caused by Hurricane Hugo. Beautiful home.
Lots of cracks in the walls.
A lot of cracks in the walls. I know, get it fixed. Here's the dash in Battery Park. That's what you ride around town on. This is Battery Park. Really beautiful place.
Right. No, it's fine. Absolutely nothing was improved one way or the other. We're still harassing.
This is a tribute to the Confederate defenders of Fort Moultrie, South Carolina. Battery Park. 2 Meeting Street. Very beautiful bed and breakfast. I'll get a little bit closer when we cross the street. Inside the courtyard, 2 Meeting Street, the bed and breakfast. Really beautiful. On the other side, they have a very interesting window. I'll be taking some movies of in a second. Some more homes on South Battery. Oh yeah, blue ceilings. Here's a real big place. Beautiful street. South Battery, and the pretty colors. These are very well, probably the most photographed homes in Charleston on East Battery here. You can see a great deal of the front of the house. Nothing's obscured. Colors are gorgeous. I'm doing some work on this house here. We're coming down the end of South Battery now. Mimosa tree in bloom. We're still on South Battery. This is kind of a neat house. These windows up here are rounded. One section on either side is like bowed out. Here's a neat place. Neat little carving up here. That's beautiful. Across the street, it's nice. Very nice.
It smells beautiful. It's my favorite. I think it's in Jerusalem.
Some kind of a tree we're not sure of. Beautiful though.
Loaded with bees.
Yeah, bees love it. This is the Simmons Edwards house, also called the Pineapple House. Oprah Winfrey was going to buy this place.
I never proposed. I told her we were getting married and stuff like this, stuff let her stop.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
It's Laguerre Street, if that's the pronunciation. And these things here are earthquake bolts, put in after the earthquake in 1886 to hold the house together. They ran from one wall to the other. This is Trad Street, and this is the house that's leaning, either from Hurricane Hugo or the fact that the ground's so soft and it's starting to sink. And this baby's really leaning. It's almost touching up there. It's a house on Meeting Street, number 60 Meeting Street. I don't know whose it is, but certainly is gorgeous. Okay, this is a single house. This door isn't the door to the front of the house. It just goes to the side porch. The house is longer.
Man, woman, be ye soon or be ye late, going, coming, sure to shut this gate. Scotland, 18th century.
This house looks like it's made of stone, but actually it's painted wood, probably cypress. Calhoun Mansion, 24,000 square feet. The largest residential structure in Charleston. It's got a beautiful statue of Mercury in the side yard I'll get to. There's a couple of mules pulling a little sightseeing wagon. Fur wagon. Yeah, it's even got the fins on top. There's that statue of Mercury outside the Calhoun Mansion. What a dump. Huh? Yeah. This is Church Street. We're trying to find our way to Catfish Row. This is Church Street, we think. A pretty pink house. On East Bay again, only up further north from where we were before, earlier this morning. This is the house with the two different styles of architecture. Again. This is Rainbow Row on East Bay Street. All the houses are painted really neat pastel colors. During his visit to Charleston, May 1791, the guest of the citizens, President George Washington, was entertained in this house. Fine Catfish Row.
Did you get it on the camera?
Yeah. Alley. Some cute little homes. Yeah, it's that same shot I took before. Pope's Church on Church Street. Massive door. I am. I don't know what building this is, but the chime sound nice anyway. Really neat spires on top of this church. We'll find out what church this is. Church Street. This is Colonial Lake. artificial veranda. That house that I just filmed before with a detail of the top of the columns and the ram's head. It's one of the last houses in Charleston May in this manner, like an Italian villa. It's the gardens.
There's palms in front of the porch there.
I can't say that neat place with a circular park here. Kind of neat. Yeah, I'm getting that now. The Belvedere, I don't know if it's a house or bed and breakfast or what. This is down by the bay. This is corner of Limehouse and Murray Boulevard. Murray Boulevard is the last street down. And this is a big house. It is big.
Have a witness pretending their response, so whatever they have to give is fine. But I think it's more difficult in this case because the focus is really going to be on Loreda's state of mind. So it really is less important. Everyone agrees to the facts. It's just a matter of why they took place.
The hard thing for me to believe is that this is just another day for him, and perhaps this is just some sort of trying to psych himself to get through it, but it's hard to believe this was just another day today.
Well, I think it was a very hard day for all the participants.
Had to have been. Ruth Jones, it was great to have you here. Will you come back real soon?
Love to.
Contract? Oral contract?
Wednesday.
All right, Wednesday. You're going to be here with me, I hope. We're going to take you through the end of our broadcast. We will be back on Tuesday's edition of Primetime Justice with more in these 3 trials that we've been bringing you this evening. The Menendez trial, the Waco, Texas trial, and this trial of Brenda Blobbitt. Thanks for being here. We'll see you again on the next edition.
Next, stay tuned for Lock and Key.
Court TV takes you beyond the news and into the courtroom where the laws you live by take shape.
It was the speech in Albany.
For the plaintiff, $101 million.
For the criminal act of genocide, the death penalty.
With a commitment to journalistic integrity and some of the most dramatic trials anywhere, Court TV has become America's premier public service cable channel. Call or write your local cable company and voice your support for public service television. Court TV is public service television at its best.
We've all done this before. You hang a picture, you change its position, you change it again, and before you know it, your wall looks like a dartboard. Forget those nails, forget those screws, forget those damaged walls forever. Introducing the Does It Handy Hanger. Nothing does it like Does It. Just place a handy disc on the applicator and watch the special adhesive heat up. Press it on the wall, and that's it. Use the Does It Handy Hanger on painted walls, on wood paneling, on wallpaper. As the adhesive cools, it creates a molecular bond that safely holds up to 10 pounds and more. But the patented handy hanger can be removed as easily as it attaches without leaving any mark at all. A nail in ceramic tile? Forget it. But does it on tile. It even does it on glass. And look, your Does It Handy Hanger also comes with these utility hooks. Use them in the kitchen to hang oven mitts and even pots and pans. Use them in the bathroom for towels and your blow dryer. Use them in the bedroom to hang your bathrobe, in your living room for curtain tiebacks, in your shed for tools, on your patio for plants. Does it easily, everywhere. Stop banging nails in your walls, drilling monster holes for hollow wall anchors, and forget those peel and stick hooks. They won't hold your breath, and look at the marks they make. That wall is ruined, but Handy Hanger can be removed cleanly from any surface. Amazing! You get the Does It electric applicator, 10 handy discs, 10 utility hooks, and the handy disc remover, all for $29.95. Order your Does It Handy Hanger now.
Use your credit card and call toll-free 1-800-245-6537. That's 1-800-245-6537. Or send $29.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Does It Handy Hanger, P.O. Box 667, Department 250, Georgetown, Connecticut 06829 to receive yours. Order now, 1-800-245-6537.
For the latest programming information on Court TV, call 212-973-3378.
This week on Lock and Key.
I was messing up a lot of my money off my checks for a while there. Yeah. I had a gambling problem, yes.
You're convicted on a habitual criminal charge here, buddy. You're lucky you're not doing a life sentence.
And I would really appreciate a parole if you gentlemen feel it would warrant it.
Hello, I'm June Grosso. Welcome to Lock and Key, where the difference between freedom and prison is just a vote away. This week, a trip out west to a prison not far from the gambling capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. 35 miles northwest of the glitz, glamour, and greed of Vegas lies Southern Desert Correctional Center. The desert part of the title says it all. SDCC is surrounded by miles and miles of flat sagebrush and sand. The prison's only neighbors are a gunnery range and a bombing range for a nearby Air Force base and mountain ranges to the east and west. Southern Desert is Nevada's largest facility, housing about 1,400 inmates at the medium security level. Today we'll take a look at the fight of some inmates for early release from their prison sentences. The first, inmate George Jackson, who committed just the type of crime you would expect in Las Vegas. In 1989, Jackson was in the Fremont Hotel's casino and decided to help himself to money that wasn't his. He reached out and took a rack of quarters worth $260 from a pile next to a slot machine. Casino security guards stopped him. A jury found Jackson guilty of grand larceny, and he was sentenced to 9 years behind bars. Now, after serving 4 years of that term, he's seeking parole. Here he tells the Nevada Parole Board what he would do if he's let out.
At the present time, I have a sister living here in Vegas. I would go live with her.
What kind of a job do you have?
I'm 60 years old. I don't really know what to say at this time. I have
really
an offer
don't know
from
what?
Ackerman.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
I'm 60 with
Yeah.
a criminal record. What am I going to... I have not really sought out employment. because I didn't have any idea that I might get a parole, and I can't ask
Well, you're
anybody.
being considered for it. Whether or not you get it remains to be seen, but you're being considered for
120
it, that's
people
for
last
sure.
month were considered, too.
You what?
Nobody got a date last month, so I wasn't really planning on that you guys would give me a date now. I have an opportunity for a couple of employment opportunities, but I did not ask anybody to consider me, knowing that where my status was in limbo, Jim.
You know, if we're going to be honest here, Mr. Jackson, let me run something by you. For instance, your previous criminal history. Like you're making out here that I'm getting some kind of vibrations that you're being discriminated against for some reason. That you're an excellent candidate for parole with your record of
what kind of record are you referring to, sir?
I'm referring to your criminal record. You're convicted on a habitual criminal charge here, buddy. You're lucky you're not doing a life sentence.
What habitual criminal, sir? Would you read them? It would be more clarified and precisely what you're saying.
On this grand larceny charge, you received a 9-year sentence.
Correct.
Right? Do you know what the recommendation from the Department of Parole and Probation was?
The paper I had said 6 years.
It did?
Yes,
the paper I have says life.
Well, I didn't get nothing like that. I wish I brought.
You got 9 years.
Copy.
But I'm just saying, considering your criminal history, I think you did rather well with a 9-year sentence.
What criminal history? If you really see the dates are precisely, that was 20 years ago, 1965, sir.
Well, it's a previous criminal history. There's no doubt about that. But you've been in prison 3 previous times. You got 6 felony convictions.
Sir. I did one time at CMC East in 1965 to 1970, and that's it.
That's all?
That's precisely. Those things were supposed to be corrected.
And you don't have 6 felony convictions?
Sir, I have misdemeanor convictions.
You have 2 of those, from what I see here. So what you're telling me is the pre-sentence investigation report is wrong, is that right?
I didn't say that, sir. I said if you check the dates on that, there was a discrepancy. It was even wrote in. It was supposed to be clarified. They're all, even when they released me from my parole, they found out they had done wrong. And it even says that they corrected the deficiency of my parole thing.
Okay, which was what?
That they had made a mistake on the dates. It was never taken out of the computers.
So you weren't, you don't have 6 felony convictions?
I know, I have petty misdemeanors, yes. That's correct.
Just misdemeanor charges. You know,
but I only get 1 sentence in my life, and that was 5 years at CMC.
You don't have any prior felony convictions, is that right?
I didn't say that, sir. I said that if you just review the dates, I can't go over unless I brought a copy of the dates. I thought it was all straight down in California. It never was. I sent a letter here saying it should have been taken care of before I came before these boards here. Nobody corrects them.
Okay, what
I did 5 years at CMC East, that's it. 1965 to 1970. I had embezzlement from the federal savings when I worked in there.
Right, okay.
I didn't get nothing out of that. I did 2 years.
That was back in 64.
Correct.
And you got a 2-year prison term on that.
That's right, sir. Did 8 months.
Right.
I got fined $200 and I didn't have to go. I didn't pay the $200.
And in 65, you had a burglary,
correct.
2 counts. You got 15 years in prison.
Correct.
And you got a technical discharge on that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you got back in 65, you had burglary. That was consecutive. Okay.
See, they made a mistake, and that's what I'm trying to say, sir.
What about this forgery charge in 72?
Well, that was my best friend. He beat me, my lawyer friend beat me out of some money. I took his credit cards.
Uh-huh.
And what'd I do? 30, 60 days when I got it straightened out.
Okay. And what about these lewd conduct charges? What about those?
There's nothing to say about those, sir. They're not really lewd conduct. You never really read them. I was working for Union Bank downtown L.A. I went to use a private bathroom, and some cop said I looked at him. That was the extent of the loop.
Okay.
You didn't see no charge. I didn't do no time on that.
All right. And why don't you tell us what happened during this grand larceny here? What was this all about?
Well, this happened in the Fremont Casino. I really don't wish to discuss it because they come up to file to overturn my case. When Judge
you don't have to, I'm sorry?
Joe Bonaventure sent Mr. Hazens up here to overturn my case. They found out a security guard at the Fremont was lying, that's all. I couldn't prove nothing. My case is still pending. They sent a lawyer up here, not me.
Okay. You don't have to make any statements at all.
I could have brought the papers
here. We'll consider what the offense report states in your pre-sentence investigation report.
But there won't be any problem with you getting any type of employment? Is that what you're saying?
Sir, I don't know about that. I'm 60 years old. What can I tell you?
What type of skills?
I have an opportunity for Ackerman Chevrolet. They told me if I get a chance that they will consider giving me a salesman job.
Uh-huh.
My sister probably could help me, but I haven't really asked her because I had no leverage of knowing or knowledge to put anybody in a position. She'll offer me a home, and that's it.
Okay. What type of work does your sister do? Does she work at all?
Peggy's retired now. She's
retired? Who is she at home with?
Just herself. Her husband died.
Okay. She doesn't have any children?
No.
Okay. What type of skills do you have exactly?
Sir, I do computer, type, administrative clerical. I do hotel management.
Uh-huh.
I run apartment units, hotels. I've done public relations. I've been a counselor for an employment agency.
Okay. You don't have any substance abuse problems?
No, I don't. I've never been involved with drugs or alcohol.
And how are you getting along in here?
Excellent. Same job for 3 years.
Which is?
Just the library. I run the library. Now I'm a clerk up in Unit 6.
Okay. And you do all that clerical work up there? Is that what you're doing?
That's correct.
You have your high school diploma?
No, I had a GED. I got that when I was in the Navy.
Okay.
1953.
All right. Mr. Harris, any questions?
No questions.
Reverend Scott, any questions?
No question. I have one. You've been down 48 months?
That's correct. 46, Mr. Harris.
46, okay.
2 months short of 4 years. Next December, I'll be down 4 years.
Anything else you want to say to them?
How would you describe your level of computer literacy?
Well, I computed the computer course while I was here.
That's what you do. You use the computer in the library.
Yes.
You'd say you don't measure computer like you do typing. So many words a minute.
No, none whatsoever.
So what would you say the level of your skill now?
The level? Probably 30%. I'm accurate. I'm not fast. I'm just accurate. I'm on it, so I don't clarify that. I don't have any speeds. I type about 65 words per minute. But
you were groping with about what you might do if you were paroled. That's one thing you might do.
Well, Dr. but I've been offered a job as a salesman for Ackerman Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Ford. Ackerman Ford, excuse me. Yeah.
Okay.
Gary Ford is offering it to Gary Ackerman.
That's all right.
Job.
Anything else you want to say to the board, Mr. Jackson?
No, gentlemen, what can I say at this time? I'm 60 years old going on. I don't know how much life I got left. I would like to, like anybody else, I would like to get out there and prove myself. But
why you keep repeating 60 years old? That man's 75, 80, and 90 years old.
Well,
running countries around the world. It has nothing to do with your ability.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Reverend.
3 commissioners sat in on Jackson's hearing. Within 10 days, they offered a recommendation to the full Nevada Parole Board, 6 commissioners appointed by the governor. The recommendation? That George Jackson be released. He left Southern Desert on November 5th. He's currently living with his sister and working in Las Vegas. Coming up next, another inmate with gambling troubles explains how it all started. Don't go away.
I was in the casino gambling, and a couple of kids that I went to school with were there and had buckets full of money. I said, "Hey, you guys are doing awful good." And they said, "Yeah." And it just showed me what they were doing. And I was down in my luck, and like I said,
I'd say you were down on your luck.
Real bad.
Recently, I switched pain relievers from Tylenol to Advil. You see, I got these really pounding headaches. I found 2 Advil worked better than 2 Tylenol gel caps. For my tough headaches, Advil just works better. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
She flies into icy wings 30 feet above the ground, but she won't take chances with her lips, so she takes Chapstick Medicated, triple medicated relief to soothe and prevent chapped lips. Take lip care seriously. Take Chapstick.
I need a cold medicine that won't slow me down. My husband's a doctor and recommends Dimetap Extend-Tabs.
Dimetap has one of the least sedating non-prescription antihistamines.
Dimetap stops my cold symptoms without stopping me.
Doctors recommend Dimetap for their families and yours.
Has Saturday night lost its magic?
Boy, you girls sure are cute.
And I don't eat meat because I'm a veterinarian.
Oh, boy. Hello?
You know what I'm talking about.
Not a clue.
Honey, you look fine on a new set of snow tires.
You know, you just might want to stay home with HBO Saturday nights. A never-before-seen on HBO movie every Saturday night, 52 Saturday nights a year. Guaranteed. So what are you going to do this Saturday night?
I don't get it.
No kidding. HBO Saturday nights.
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
Welcome back to Lock and Key. Casinos on the Las Vegas Strip bring in a total of $3.5 billion a year. Here's the story of another man who went astray inside the Sands Casino. Terry Ensminger tried to squeeze about $70 out of a slot machine and was caught. He's behind bars for gambling fraud and has a year to go on his 2-year sentence.
My sister's lived in this town all her life. She works at the Hacienda for about 15 years. I'll be staying with her if I get out.
Okay, stay with sister. Okay, because we didn't get any kind of a plan.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was coming.
What kind of a job do you have out there?
Well, I have my own business, property improvers, landscaping, but I can go to work at the Hacienda, numerous places. I've been here 38 years in Vegas, so I can get I have a few different places I can get a job at. I worked at the Hacienda Hotel for about 3 years. I was their #1 top salesman for the tour guide and sales of the vacation membership. So they want me back immediately,
Let's back up here just a little bit.
Okay.
You're making things sound pretty rosy. You got a good job and all this. Were you stringing a video poker machine in a casino?
Yes, sir.
You were cheating the gambling. Okay.
Yeah.
Why were you doing that? If you've got a good job.
Well, I went in and took the deal.
You got a light sentence because of that. But.
Right. At the time when it happened, is I wasn't working at the Hacienda right there anymore. They had put the plan off for a while. They weren't selling any more memberships for a while until they opened up the new high-rise. So I wasn't working at the time, and I just got a divorce. My mom died, and I don't know. I was just a real low part time of my life. I was just really down on the dumps and everything.
When did you get the divorce?
My wife divorced me like 11 months before I was arrested.
Okay, because our records show that you were divorced in '92, and this happened in January, which would have showed that you were still being married at the time. So.
Oh no, I was in the Clark County Jail for 17.5 months. There might be a little bit of problem with the date there, maybe.
In January of '92, is that when you were arrested?
February of '91.
February of '91?
Yes, sir.
You have a good report here. 2 of '91. Okay. So you were in CDC?
Yeah, I was in Clark County Jail.
For 17 months?
17.5 months in the time period, yeah.
And that was for?
I got credited for time served. For this?
For this?
For this charge, yeah.
Okay.
I got credited for time served 297 days, which they would have gave me more, but I don't know why they didn't. They just gave me the 200.
So you got 10 months there?
Yeah.
Was that in the plea? Is that one reason you got the short sentence in the plea? Because of the credit time served? 300 days?
That's what I was in there for. They pretty much had to give me the time that I was in there for being in jail. Pretty sure that's the law. I'm not sure.
Not necessarily. All right, your prior felony. 36 arrests. Been in Las Vegas for 38 years. Looks to me like most of these arrests, in fact, all these arrests were, for the most part, in Las Vegas.
14 years ago, yeah. But most of my problems, it's been a long time. Except for in '82, I think.
Possession of stolen property, that was your felony.
Yeah. In 76. Yeah.
Well, 76, and then in 82.
Right.
What were you doing with stolen property? Were you gambling then too?
No, no. I was working. I was at my house. Some friends needed some money. They sold me a stereo and a TV. I didn't know it was stolen. Honestly, I didn't know it was stolen. And it was at my birthday party, and the police came for excessive noise, and they checked searched the whole house. There was nothing in the house. When they checked the numbers on the TVs, they came back 2 months later and said that those numbers showed up stolen merchandise. But I had a paper written from the kid that sold them to me.
When in 1983, when you sold the cocaine to an undercover officer, what were you using that money for? Was that
It wasn't even my deal, actually. I'm not trying to deny it or anything. I was there. It did happen, but it wasn't. I was just in the car. It wasn't my deal, and you know what I mean. So, and they just said, well, instead of you having a felony here, why don't you just plead guilty and go to jail for 6 months or a year? I said, okay. I was in the car.
You got a dishonorable discharge on that probation too.
A dishonorable?
That's what the records indicate. What was the battery charge in 85?
85?
Yeah, battery. Who were you beating up on?
No, the neighbor beat up his wife real bad, and she came over and ran over to the house, and all the girls and everything. When the police showed up, she came on over to the house and asked for me to come over and help. And when I came over there, he picked up a jack thing, a scissor jack thing. You pick the car up, picked it up to swing it at me, and I pulled it out of his hand, and I punched him one time in the jaw. And when the police got there, all the girls and the daughters and everything all told the police that he beat her up real bad. He assaulted me first, and that he went to jail. He went to jail. They let me go from the beginning, and then I wound up. If you look, it says like 3 months later they came with the warrant for my arrest because he pressed charges from the jailhouse. I hit him in the jaw. That's only as far as I've never had any violence other than one fist fight.
The other one right after that, the other felony arrest was the grand larceny auto. But
auto? No, I've never had a car larceny. I've never had a grand larceny auto. That's a mistake there.
Well, that's what the arrest was, and it was amended to larceny, and you spent some time in jail for it.
No, sir. No, sir.
Wasn't you, huh?
They also told me something. The counselor said something about a credit card. That's never been on my record neither. That's not me. Somebody was using.
Do you describe yourself as you think you're a gambler at all? Is that why you get into these problems? You need money?
I was messing off a lot of my money off my checks for a while there. Yeah, I had a gambling problem. Yes.
When you were working, it was not real consistent. But when you were working, were you making good money? Were you making enough money to live and pay your child support?
Well, back when I was working at the hacienda, I was still married. I wasn't divorced yet.
Okay. So have you ever paid any of this $900 a month support? You probably haven't.
I've been in jail. I haven't had a chance to pay it.
The arrangement or the divorce, are you still going to have visiting rights and support and things like that? What kind of health problems do you have?
I've had 4 seizures in my life. The first one I had was back in 87 or 88, and I had 2 in the Clark County. I think they're from stress.
What happens to you?
I just have a seizure. Just fall out. I don't remember. So they just say the heart stops and I have a seizure.
And they didn't put you on any meds or
Yes, they
anything?
do. They put me on
but they can't
seizure
seem
medication.
to identify the problem, is that it?
I'm not sure.
Huh.
How'd you learn how to string video poker machines?
I was in the casino gambling, and a couple of kids that I went to school with were there and had buckets full of money. I said, "Hey, you guys are doing awful good." And they said, "Yeah." And they just showed me what they were doing. And I was down in my luck, and like I said,
I'd say you were down on your luck.
Real bad.
You were just going to say you can get work Because your sister's working at one of the
Oh yeah.
casinos, you can get working again. What assurance this board has that you can do the same thing again?
Oh, no.
You know the technique. You know how to do it.
There's no way I'm going to jeopardize even if I had no self-esteem for myself at all, there's no way I would jeopardize the financial support for my children. I mean, I live for my children. I have 3 children, 16, 12, and 8, and they mean everything. And I need to get out there and support them correctly and do the right thing. That's about the best I can tell you. I know way better. I'm getting too old for anything, to keep the dumb stuff up.
What kind of job do you think that you might be able to get in a hotel?
I would be a salesman for the Gold Key Club, Hacienda Gold Key Club vacation memberships. My sister also said that my brother talked to his boss at Firestone on Spring Mountain. If I can't get a job immediately, I can probably go down there and get a job. My business partner, Rocky, that has his license. I can undersign to open my business back up. I ran Property Improvers in Las Vegas too. In the very beginning stages of my marriage and children and stuff, I was doing very well.
Any reason why all what you just said is not a part of your release plan?
Excuse me, sir?
Is there any reason why all you've just said is not a part of your release plan?
Is there any reason why it wouldn't be? No, it's exactly what I plan to do. I'm going back to
It's not included in your release plan. All those things you just said are fine things, but it's not anything here.
Yeah, I've never given anything. I didn't even know I was coming to the board.
He did not sign this.
I didn't even know I was coming to the board. See, I expire my sentence here in another 70 some days, 80 days. I expire anyway, right?
Terry Ensminger was denied parole. He'll remain behind bars until his release date of March 1994. Still ahead, the story of a man who moved to Nevada for work but got into trouble instead. Trouble with drugs. Trouble that started when he was only 11 years old.
I was 11 years old, and it was what all my friends were doing. It was, looking back on it, it was rather foolish, but that's 34 years old and 11 years old. It doesn't seem that way then.
Uh-oh, do you toss and turn all night long? Ouch! Do you awaken with neck and shoulder pain from a soft, lumpy pillow? Now join the thousands who have discovered the Contour Pillow, anatomically designed to follow the natural contour of your neck and head while it supports and aligns your spine for a great night's sleep. Look, ordinary pillows lose shape and support. Your upper back and neck muscles work all night long, leading to neck tension, shoulder stiffness, back pain, snoring, and restless sleep. But the Contour Pillow supports your body the way nature intended. Tense muscles relax, rest, rejuvenate. You awaken refreshed and ready to go. The secret is the therapeutic foam. The soft plush foam fingers individually adjust to your facial and neck features. The ultra-firm inner layers provide the gentle orthopedic support for the head and spine.
I suffered from stiff necks and headaches all my life. But with the Contour Pillow, I wake up feeling really refreshed.
I can't sleep without it. This pillow's a miracle. I even travel with it.
I've spent hundreds of dollars on mattresses and waterbeds, but only the Contour Pillow gave me the support and the relief that I needed. Best of all, my husband doesn't snore anymore.
The Contour Pillow is not available in any store, so call now for the special introductory price of only $19.95. Doctors sell therapeutic pillows for $60 or more. But now, the Contour Pillow can be ordered direct from the manufacturer for a special introductory price. And if you order within the next 10 minutes, we'll include the zippered washable cover, a $5 value absolutely free. If the Contour Pillow is not the most comfortable pillow you ever slept on, simply return it for a full refund, no questions asked. So don't toss and turn all night long. Pick up the phone and call now for the ultimate night's sleep. Order now.
For rush delivery of your Contour Pillow, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-843-1199. That's 1-800-843-1199. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Contour Pillow, P.O. Box 11624, Charlotte, North Carolina. Or call 1-800-843-1199.
Las Vegas is the fastest growing metro area in the United States. In the 1980s, the desert town's population doubled. Many of the transplants moved into town to take advantage of the prosperity to find work. Inmate Richard Finley was one of those, moving from Kentucky. However, instead of finding gainful employment, he found trouble, drug trouble, speed to be exact. After pleading guilty to drug charges in 1991, Finley found himself sentenced to 3 years at Southern Desert. And to make matters worse, while Finley was behind bars, he says his wife abandoned their children, ages 1 and 3.
I've been in the state of Nevada since 1990.
What brought you here?
Money, trying to find work.
Doing what?
I worked for Larry's Auto Wrecking. It's a salvage operation also.
Okay. And there was nothing doing in Kentucky, is that it?
Well, at the time that I left, no, sir.
Okay. And then you got involved in drugs here, huh?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay.
I feel it would be better for me to go back to where I was born and raised and not get back into the same people that I was involved with out here.
You were using drugs while you were back in Kentucky?
I did to a slight extent. Like I said, most of my problems all my life have been with drugs. Once I did get cleaned up, I stayed clean for, like I said, almost 6 years. And
So you think you have pretty much of a handle on it now, huh?
well, sir, I think that as long as I continue with Narcotics Anonymous and keep working at it, I have 2 young sons out there that make it well worth becoming a productive citizen rather than doing drugs and partying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mr. Harris, any questions?
Richard, it seems to me like looking at your history, the judge was quite reasonable, quite fair with you.
Yes, sir, he was.
A 3-year and a 2-year, and the 2 years concurrent with the 3, and this is not your first offense by any means.
That's
You've
correct.
got some history. I'm surprised that you didn't get a little tougher sentence, aren't you?
Well, sir, he was, up until my wife deserted me, they were considering house arrest because of my young sons and the fact that I had been clean and had started counseling when I was in the county jail. And I honestly believe that with counseling, with continued counseling, I can get out there and stay away from this.
I also noticed that you had a certificate. You've attended, I think, 9 NA meetings. You've been down about 6 months. That's not very many meetings.
Well, I haven't been on the yard very long. I was just sent here at the end of July. And then there's a month in the fish tank. So you
How
can't...
often do they have the meetings?
They have the meetings 6 nights a week.
That's my point.
I'm co-secretary on Monday nights, and with me getting up at 3:30 every morning, the meetings aren't held until 7 in the evening. It makes for a rather long day. Some days toward the end of the week,
It would seem to me if it's important to change your life that you would find the time to take care of that.
I have been as often as possible.
And also your record indicates that you were pretty much a thief. A lot of burglary, petty larceny, those kind of things. Why were you doing so much of that?
Drugs, for money for drugs.
Now, your release plan was to go with your parents in Kentucky.
That's correct.
Do you have any idea if the state of Kentucky will take you?
My mother has talked to the parole people there. They said that they would.
Because of them, I'm sure.
Yes.
I guess the only other thing I would say is at this point in your life, if you are fortunate enough to get a parole or when you do get out, looking at your history, you better not get another felony, or you're going to be in for a long time.
I understand that, sir.
Long time.
A parole at this point I would really like to have one, like I say, basically for my children and because I think I can make it, but also because I realize that I can't continue with this lifestyle or I'm never going to get out of prison.
Now, your parents have legal custody of the kids?
No, sir. They have guardianship of the children.
And obviously you don't have custody. Did your ex-wife lose their custody? I mean, she abandoned them? She gave them up? What's happened there?
She assigned custody over to my parents. It hasn't been... They went through the guardianship procedure in the state of Kentucky. They are legal guardians of them now until they are age of 18 or until I can get there. There's been no contact with my wife since June 24th. She's shown no interest either to contact me or the children. I really don't expect any.
What kind of contact have you had with the children?
I speak to them twice a week. It's rather expensive to call, plus I write and send them their birthday cards and that type of thing.
They know where you're at?
They know where I'm at. The youngest one naturally doesn't. He's only a year old. He doesn't understand, but Tony knows where I'm at.
Reverend Scott, any questions?
Mr. Finley, would you describe for the board how your first encounter with drugs, the reason for why, and about how old were you?
I was 11 years old, and it was what all my friends were doing. It was, looking back on it, it was rather foolish, but that's 34 years old and 11 years old. It doesn't seem that way then. Everyone that I was growing up around at that time was experimenting with marijuana, and being part of the crowd, I did also. It took me several years, up until 1986, before I did get clean. And I got clean in 1986 and didn't, until this last year, get back involved with drugs.
What other kind of drugs other than marijuana were you having an encounter with while you were in Kentucky?
I had no other drugs while I was in Kentucky.
What kind of drugs were you on the last time? Did it just
Methamphetamine.
What amount?
I was using small amounts to stay awake at night. I was no longer working at Larry's Auto Wrecking. I was working for myself, restoring old cars. And the hours I was working, I started using again. There was no excuse for it.
Any other kind of drugs?
No, sir.
What would you say to the board that you feel in your own mind that would entitle you to have a parole at this time? What have you done, or what are you prepared to do that would influence the board to vote in that direction?
Well, sir, I would like to get out naturally and take care of my children. I feel they need their father right now and throughout the rest of their life. Hopefully I can keep them from making some of the mistakes that I made. Like I say, I do intend to continue with Narcotics Anonymous, and if there's not a Narcotics Anonymous in Kentucky, there has to be some type of program there, I'm sure. It's a large city next to a military base. I'm sure there's some type of substance abuse program that I can continue to go to. I do know that counseling is going to be a large part of my life from here on. I've got a job there. All I intend to do is work and raise my boys.
Anything else you'd like to say to the board, Mr. Finley?
Nothing other than I would really appreciate a parole if you gentlemen feel it would warrant it.
The final decision has not been released on Richard Finley's request for parole. He wants to move back to Kentucky to be with his family, and that means his release must be approved by authorities in that state as well. The parole board in Nevada says Finley will be released if Kentucky approves. Remember how Finley originally came to Las Vegas to look for work? Well, he may not have had good luck with that, but as an inmate at Southern Desert, he has a good opportunity to get vocational training. About a third of the prison's inmates are enrolled in educational or vocational classes. Job training classes are offered in culinary arts, welding, and computer education, quite a variety. And one unique opportunity inmates have at Southern Desert is to work on restoring antique cars. The Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino is one of the largest hotels in Vegas and is home to one of the largest auto collections in the world. Since 1991, the Imperial Palace has been supplying repairable relics to Southern Desert inmates, mostly lifers, who turn them into museum pieces. This summer, the convicts entered this 1931 Duesenberg Beverly sedan in one of the world's most prestigious antique car competitions, the Concours d'Elegance at Pebble Beach. Top honors at the competition were taken by a car owned by clothing designer Ralph Lauren. The inmates have had great success with the restoration program. They've restored close to 25 cars, including a convertible that belonged to former President Richard Nixon. Still ahead, a man convicted of robbery is questioned about his true identity.
Is this you, going around sticking up gin mills?
No.
Here we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A woman cut off her husband's penis after she claims he forced unwanted sex on her. Shortly thereafter, John Wayne Bobbitt was accused and went to trial for the charge of marital sexual assault. A jury found him not guilty. Now, his wife, Lorena Bobbitt, must defend herself against charges of malicious wounding. And if convicted, she faces up to 20 years behind bars. Watch the trial of Virginia versus Lorena Bobbitt this week, only on Court TV.
Oh, no. Wish your breath could be morning fresh all day long? Uh-oh. Need to brush after that spicy business lunch? Introducing Twist and Brush, the revolutionary new portable toothbrush that lets you brush anywhere, anytime. One twist and the patented design fills the brush with minty fresh fluoride gel. One twist and you're ready to brush. Best of all, each replacement cartridge is good for 30 brushings. Plus, it's a snap to clean. After you twist and brush, you just rinse and snap. Special air vents inside the cap dry the brush so it's ready to use again and again. Lightweight Twist and Brush is small enough to tuck in your pocket or purse. Use it at the office, after smoking or drinking, after sweets or spicy food. Look again how easy it is. Just twist and brush. For braces, it's a must. Imagine, just twist to have fresh breath all day. It's perfect for last-minute meetings. Don't worry about little ones brushing. Send Twist and Brush to school with them to start a lifetime of healthy smiles. Doctor designed with gentle, long-lasting nylon bristles, it's the choice of leading dentists.
Brushing after every meal is one of the best things you can do for preventive dental hygiene. And Twist and Brush makes carrying a brush as convenient as carrying a pen. I recommend it to all my patients.
You get 2 revolutionary Twist and Brush toothbrushes plus 2 refill cartridges for each one. That's enough for 180 brushings, all for only $15.95. And if you order now, you can get extras for family and friends for just $5.95 per set. Now you can have great dental hygiene anywhere, anytime. Order Twist and Brush today.
To order, use your credit card and call toll-free 1-800-581-8100. That's 1-800-581-8100. Or send $15.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling to Twist and Brush, 507B Maple Leaf Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37210. Or call 1-800-581-8100. Sorry, no CODs.
Lock and Key continues with parole hearings from outside Las Vegas, Nevada. Last Christmas Eve, Timothy Menges and a friend robbed Finnegan's Pub, a Las Vegas bar near the airport. They entered wearing ski masks and held up the patrons at gunpoint. They got $2,400 in cash and $1,200 in quarters. Probably only in Las Vegas would quarters come in that quantity to be used for gambling. Well, Timothy Menges gambled on his future and lost. He and his accomplice were caught. Menges was charged with robbery and use of a deadly weapon during the Christmas Eve holdup. He pleaded guilty to the crime and received a term of 4 years. So far, he's done 4 months of that term. Now Menges is seeking early release. His father has come along to support his 20-year-old son's bid for parole.
Why don't you tell us how you got involved in this robbery, use of a deadly weapon?
I was just involved with the wrong people, you know.
You're pretty lucky with your sentence structure. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And that was brought about, I assume, from your testimony against your co-offender, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And where did you get the gun?
From one of the co-defenders.
He gave you the gun?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to him?
They haven't been caught yet.
All right. Now you say hanging out with the bad crowd. Were you involved in drugs or alcohol?
Alcohol, yes.
To the point, were you drinking on the night of this occasion?
Yes, I was.
Were you intoxicated?
Yes.
Okay. And that's why you went out to commit what was the purpose of committing this crime? Were you working at the time?
No, I wasn't.
You needed money?
Yeah.
Talk to me here.
I was broke. And they came up with this idea. Easy cash, no.
Somebody else
Yes.
did. You feel you were talked into this?
Yeah.
Are you a leader or a follower?
Well, it looks like I was a follower. But...
Say the least. Say the least. You have a minimal criminal history, I'll say that for you. But when you got involved, you did it big time. You know, walking into these places with a gun or anything else with the intent to rob, you're lucky you're not dead or somebody else didn't get killed. What would happen if somebody confronted you? Well, what would you have done, considering the state that you were in?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I wouldn't have shot them.
I'm sorry?
I wouldn't have shot them.
What makes you say that?
No, that's not me.
That's not you. Is this you, going around sticking up gin mills?
No.
Here we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing in here?
What am I doing in here? Just going to school.
Are you being productive in here, or
Yeah.
are you just hanging out?
I'm going to school to get my GED, high school diploma.
Good. What else are you doing?
That's it, on the yard labor crew.
How come you're not involved in AA?
Huh?
How come
I
you're
just
not
haven't
involved?
enrolled.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
I've been busy going to school.
Little priority here. And it seems to me both of them are priorities. What about these disciplinaries you had here? What are they all about back in August?
That was, I didn't do anything. They accused me of, I moved out of his cell, and a couple days later somebody robbed him with the other key, and they just assumed I had both keys and held me over for disciplinary.
Okay, why did you move out of the cell? You did this on your own, or you
yeah.
did it with permission?
With permission.
Ah, okay. All right. You served 30 days disciplinary segregation?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any questions, Mr. Harris?
I guess I have the same concern that Mr. Chicory brought up. Was this weapon loaded?
Yes.
And you're pointing it
No,
at
I
patrons
wasn't
in the bar?
pointing at people in the bar.
Well, you were holding them at bay with it, is that not correct?
No, that is incorrect.
What were you doing
It was,
with this
it was
weapon?
strapped over my shoulder, hanging right there, and that was it.
So it was a visual threat.
Yeah.
What if someone would have tried to leave or come at you? You say you were drunk. Were you drunk?
Huh? I wasn't, you know, that drunk.
What was going through your mind?
I was scared. I didn't know what was going on.
Were you nervous?
Yeah.
You don't think you'd have used the gun?
No.
But yet you carried it in the building?
Yes, I did.
And it was loaded?
Yes.
You knew how to use it?
Yes.
Had you used it before?
Huh?
Had you used it before?
No, not that gun.
You got a very, very light sentence for what you did. And maybe it's because you're young. I don't know. Obviously, there's something to do with it as far as the testimony is concerned, the pleas that you made with the attorneys. But you really caught a break in the sentencing.
Yes, I know.
For the crime that you committed.
When the full parole board met, the group voted against parole for Timothy Menges. And that seems to be the case in most hearings. Parole board members told us they reject parole requests 63% of the time. Up next, a man who wants to be in the 47% who get out of prison early. Only he has to convince the parole board he deserves early release, even though he's behind bars for indecent exposure.
I was wearing short shorts, which I usually don't wear them out from the house, but I left with them on. My mistake. And when I went down there, I went to pay for them and I scratched myself, and it happened.
Would you accept a client? I have AIDS. If you were thinking, I don't want this person to even breathe on me.
It wasn't a case he wanted. Wouldn't you be more comfortable in a research room? But it was one he couldn't walk away from.
Did you find a lawyer?
It wasn't just the fight of his life.
When they fired Andrew Beckett,
I'm an excellent lawyer. It was everything he believed in.
they broke the law.
Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, Philadelphia, rated PG-13. Now playing in select cities, starts Friday.
If you suffer from sinus pain and pressure, take Dristan Sinus. It contains ibuprofen with 40 million prescriptions, but combined in non-prescription strength with a decongestant doctors recommend most. Both are available in Dristan Sinus. It'll relieve pressure and ease sinus pain, all without drowsiness. Dristan Sinus, with 2 doctor-recommended medicines. And there is a full line of Dristan products that's right for you. Dristan.
It's the best part of the day. You put all your cares away. Get ready for a smile on your face. It's just the right time and just the right
special Columbia House offers this month in selected magazines, newspapers, and your mail.
Welcome back to Lock and Key as we profile some of Nevada's state prisoners. Some people may say the showgirls of Las Vegas are guilty of indecent exposure. Well, the Nevada courts have said inmate Daniel Hogue has been guilty of indecent exposure not once, not twice, but 3 times. The most recent happened while Hogue was in line at Kmart in July of 1993. A 12-year-old girl saw him expose himself. Hogue has served 3 months of a 1-year sentence and says he's ready for release.
The morning I had woke up and was with my wife, and we had had a little fun in the morning, and we had got out. I do side work. You know, I'm a cabinet maker, carpenter, and I was doing this fireplace mantle for this one person, and I needed some paint, and she was out there working on the garden and needed some stuff for the garden. So I thought I'd go down to the store to get some paint that I needed and for her gardening work, and went down there, and I was wearing short shorts, which I usually don't wear them out from the house, but I left with them on, my mistake. And when I went down there, I went to pay for them, and I was scratched myself, and that had happened. Very unintentional.
You've been involved in this type of incidents in the past.
It was 8 years ago it had happened.
Uh-huh. Do you feel you have a problem?
No, not really. I'd like to get counseling, and my family.
You'd like to what? I'm sorry.
Get counseling, and my family is arranging for that. And I have had some head injuries in the past, and I'd like to getting that squared away.
Okay.
So it never happens again.
Now, according to the victim's statement, who was 12 years old, she said that you pulled up the bottom of your shorts and placed your right hand on your penis, exposing it to her. You didn't seem to do that, according to what you're saying. Is that right?
No, see, I told my lawyer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that it wasn't. It didn't matter. It was my word against hers. I was in my one hand. I was holding the paint and stuff, ready to check out and stuff, and I would have had to go to court for that, and my case would have costed me a whole bunch more money, which I didn't have at the time.
Okay. But if you do feel you need help, is that so?
I would like to get counseling. Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. You're not getting any in here, is that right?
I had put in a kite about 3 weeks, a month ago to a psychologist and never got no response. A couple weeks ago, I seen our counselor, Mr. Amada, ask him why and stuff, and he wrote out a thing and said, well, we'll find out, and I haven't got no response back from him.
Okay. So you're waiting on counseling?
Yeah,
okay. What else you doing in here?
I'm working in the culinary.
How's that going?
That's going all right.
Yeah, okay. And why don't you tell us something about your release plan now? You plan on living with your wife?
Yes,
You have any children?
Yes, I have 2.
I'm sorry?
I have 2.
How old are they?
10 and 5.
Uh-huh. Does your wife work?
Yes, she does.
What type of work does she do?
She's a biller. She works for Pulmonary Associates.
Okay. All right, Mr. Harris, any questions?
I guess the part I want to go over is this happened. This is, according to the files, it's the third time this type of an instance happened. You alluded to once 8 years ago. When was the other time?
Let's say 10 years ago.
So 8 and 10 years ago. Now, since those instances 8 and 10 years ago, did you think you needed help at those times?
No. See, when I went to court for it, especially the last time, you know, I had no lawyer or nothing. And I believe I could have gotten those charges. See, when it happened, it was a you know, I was babysitting my nieces, and I had just gotten out of the shower, and I had heard some ruckus. We lived in an apartment complex, and we was on the top, and I went over to the sliding glass door to look out to see what was going on. I had a towel around me, and it had slipped off when I was looking out the door, and this lady and her daughter were down on the courtyard, and I guess they'd seen me and called the police.
So in your opinion, it was an accident?
Yes.
But again, if you were successful in a parole to go home and live with your wife and family, and you have a job offer here, it was in the letter too, you would seek counseling?
Yes, I would.
For this?
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
Reverend Scott?
As it relates to the 12-year-old, I thought I heard you say that your lawyer would say that it was her word against your word. Do you truly feel, in fact, that you've done something wrong, or you feel that you'll be persuaded by what the lawyer said, that it's her word against your word?
Well, I think if I would have went to court and stuff, he said it was her word against mine, and I have no witnesses, so I listened to him.
I'm asking you how you feel. Do you really feel that you've done anything wrong and that you're sorry for it, or are you just saying that the lawyer said it's her word against your word?
I don't feel that I really did anything wrong. I'm sorry for what had happened. I would really like to take back what had happened, but I can't do that. I feel a little sorry that this had happened.
What about the other two cases?
I had 8 years ago, I had been in counseling, went and seen a psychiatrist, seen him for about 3 or 4 months, and he had discharged me from seeing him, said that I was fine, which I thought it was, and everything was, you know, up until this had happened, things were going by good.
Do you think you had done anything wrong in those two cases?
No.
You don't? Okay. That's all.
Anything else you'd like to say to the board, Mr. Hogue?
No, other than I would like to be paroled and be home with my family and help them out. It's really being tough for them.
The parole board decided that Daniel Hogue must serve his entire term. He'll be eligible for release in February of 1994. This marks the end of our program. Please join us next week when we open up another edition of Lock and Key. I'm June Grosso. Thanks for joining us.
Up next, stay tuned for Monday's edition of Prime Time Justice. Get the big picture on Court TV programs and features with the new Court TV Viewer's Guide. Find answers to the most commonly asked questions about Court TV. Learn more about Court TV programs and personalities. Have ready access to Court TV telephone hotlines and special services. Plus, you'll receive the new round-the-clock Court TV program schedule. To get yours, send a self-addressed business-size envelope with 52 cents postage to Court TV Viewer's Guide, 600 3rd Avenue, New York, New York, 10016. Get the big picture. Get the Court TV Viewer's Guide.
We've all done this before. You hang a picture, you change its position, you change it again, and before you know it, your wall looks like a dartboard. Forget those nails, forget those screws, forget those damaged walls forever. Introducing the Does It Handy Hanger. Nothing does it like Does It. Just place a handy disc on the applicator and watch the special adhesive heat up. Press it on the wall, and that's it. Use the Does It Handy Hanger on painted walls, on wood paneling, on wallpaper. As the adhesive cools, it creates a molecular bond that safely holds up to 10 pounds and more. But the patented handy hanger can be removed as easily as it attaches without leaving any mark at all. A nail in ceramic tile? Forget it. But does it on tile. It even does it on glass. And look, your Does It Handy Hanger also comes with these utility hooks. Use them in the kitchen to hang oven mitts and even pots and pans. Use them in the bathroom for towels and your blow dryer. Use them in the bedroom to hang your bathrobe, in your living room for curtain tiebacks, in your shed for tools, on your patio for plants. Does it easily, everywhere. Stop banging nails in your walls, drilling monster holes for hollow wall anchors, and forget those peel and stick hooks. They won't hold your breath, and look at the marks they make. That wall is ruined, but Handy Hanger can be removed cleanly from any surface. Amazing! You get the Does It electric applicator, 10 handy discs, 10 utility hooks, and the handy disc remover, all for $29.95. Order your Does It Handy Hanger now. Use your credit card and call toll-free 1-800-245-6537. That's 1-800-245-6537. Or send $29.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Does It Handy Hanger, P.O. Box 667, Department 250, Georgetown, Connecticut, 06829 to receive yours. Order now, 1-800-245-6537.
If you have any complaints or comments about Court TV's programming, you're invited to call 503-727-9800 and let us know.
The court received a note this morning. Counsel were notified and have had an opportunity to review the note. It's from the jury, which states in the note, quote,